Looking to transform your family game nights? At Perfectly Picked Games, we specialize in family games that bring everyone closer. Our games aren't just fun. Kids and teens will learn how to take turns, develop basic strategy skills, and understand the thrill of winning and grace of losing. With our exclusive gift of games, you can give months of gaming excitement to your family. Choose a 3-month or 6-month gift, and we'll deliver hand-picked family games to your doorstep every month. And here's the best part. Right now, you can use the promo code GOLDENMOJO and receive 20% off your selected plan. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer. Use promo code GOLDENMOJO and save 20% today at Perfectly Picked Games.
Welcome to the United States of Paranormal Podcast. Sit down and buckle up for an enlightening ride through everything cryptid, creepy, and paranormal.
Hello, all of my paranormal freaks out there. It is I, Golden J, hanging out with
the Rocker Chic
and
J-Dub,
and we are the United States of Paranormal.
Yeah, we are.
Damn straight. All right, so it just seems like forever since we've been in the studio. We pre-recorded enough to get through the holidays of the 4th and the holidays of what is called the 4-H fair.
Yes.
And we are back in studio, and I'm not going to lie, it feels a little weird. J-Dub's freaking out. She's hearing screams and she's seeing shit.
It was your air freshener. She was like, give me some more.
Yeah, I never hear that anywhere else.
Oh, God.
Nothing?
Nothing. Not saying a word.
Probably a wise choice. Well, and it's been like 3 weeks since we've been in the studio, so like I said, it feels a little weird, and we have a lot of things to kind of get to quickly here at the beginning of today's episode before we get into the Rocker Chic and her story for the day.
Woo.
And speaking of the Rocker Chic story, if you do not want to hear about all the crazy shit that we are just about to fucking talk about, go check out the show notes. I put in there a timestamp of when you can jump ahead to when the story starts. Just plain, clean, and simple. Have at it. All right. Also.
Yes. Also what?
We are on Patreon.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
So listen, we have some great subscribers, and I appreciate all of them. But we would love to have some more. So you can go to patreon.com/2sup and get signed up for $3, $6, or $12. Each of them is going to get you a free autograph poster. I'm laughing because while we were on break, I did some cleaning of the studio, and I found a motion light that I put up by the door, because when we leave, we shut all the lights off, and it's hard to get out the door sometimes. So I found this motion light that was perfect, as I wondered how long it would take J-Dub to notice this light going on and on.
I have ADHD real bad. You're like, every time, I'm going to be like this.
If you're on Patreon, you saw her start pointing at the damn
Like, what the
I
hell?
was like, what is that?
Got to keep her guessing, everybody. Keep her on her toes. But yes, go. So Patreon, $3, $6, and $12 tiers. I have been working on the website. I've been adding some new things, which right now, since as of the recording, we are in the middle of July. It is the July-August spotlight of the month. So you can go onto the website, UnitedStatesParanormal.com, and see the spotlight. There's a little bit of write-up. This month through August is, I put up Northwest Indiana Paranormal.
Nice.
So there's a link to their Facebook page, and if you want to go be a part of their Facebook page, you have to join, because it's a private Facebook, but it's relatively easy to get in. Peter and Brian are pretty good about being open. They just don't want to take on just anybody. So go check it out on the website, United States Paranormal. Also, I put up a clip from the top tier of our Patreon on the website. So you can get a taste of what the top tier is like. And there's also a link for Patreon on the website. So also coming very, very soon, we are going to put on Fan of the Month.
Woohoo!
So there will be a Fan of the Month for July and August. And we all know who the Fan of the Month is. It's going to be the Straw Man for the first Fan of the Month. So he doesn't know it. I haven't told him. So yeah, maybe he'll just be surprised when he hears this playback. So that's what I have been up to, working on the website. Getting I'm actually working on some back to school merchandise to go on there too, backpacks and notebooks and stuff like that. I thought that might be kind of cool to put up for a limited time, but I haven't got a whole slew of stuff, but just some fun stuff. So you can get your Celestial Stag notebook coming soon.
Celestial Stag.
Back to school. Also been working on some stuff for. Well, we're going to Para-Unity.
Yeah.
In October. We're all signed up, and I think what is October 19th? I think. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe it's the October 19th, but we're looking forward to that. So if you're interested, it's in Peru, Indiana. You can check it out at Para-Unity on Facebook, and just Google it. Or Paranormal Con in Peru, Indiana, one of the two. And you can go check out the dates, times, and, come down and see us and hang out. So
It is October the 19th.
Cool.
From what, 10 to 6?
10 to 6. We will be there the entire time. Come over to find us on our booth area. Come meet us. Come get a sticker, or, I don't know, a pin, a button, or whatever else that I'm working on giving away. So
It took him forever to figure out how to make a button.
I believe it.
But he's got it down now, so.
y'all laugh at me, but that thing is a little complicated.
It looked complicated.
Yeah, but I figured it out.
Figured it out.
Yeah. So with some of the early buttons that you might get may not be perfect, but just remember they come with love.
They're limited edition.
They're all different.
True.
One might be a little more crooked than the other.
Just like us.
Yeah, exactly.
What else? What have you guys been doing? This is what I've been up to. What have you guys been doing? I know that J-Dub's doing her conversion and 4-H fair shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
Not a lot. Been recouping from poison ivy, from burning branches, and cutting stuff out of trees, and got it on my belly. That's like the worst spot to have it, because your jeans rub right there, and so.
Yeah, I got it on my tongue.
Oh God.
But anyways, it's drying up. It's going away as it was.
It's true.
Everything becomes perverted with it.
Well, and she did a great job. She spent like the entire off week, around the 4th, out there cleaning up around the fire pit and getting, because we just drug sticks and brush and all kinds of shit up there. And she spent the whole week actually out there burning. And at one point I looked out and she's getting rained on, but damn it, she ain't stopping. She's still throwing shit on the fire. And then I would go trim out more shit and bring up to her, and she'd just look at me like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was like the last day I had to do it. And here he comes, just like, what the hell are you doing? This isn't going to burn. It's freshly cut off trees.
Yeah, but if the fire's hot enough, it'll be fine.
So, I blame him for the poison ivy, because he bought me.
I did not bring you poison ivy. I promise.
I knew a lady that was burning branches and stuff, and poison ivy was in there, and she inhaled the smoke with it, and it was all inside of her lungs.
One of my really, really good friends, her mom burned off a field and didn't realize there was pot in it, and almost died.
Oh God!
From the effects of all that pot burning. Yeah, it was not a good good thing.
Well, I mean, it started off as a good thing.
Oh, probably.
Maybe.
Oh, interesting. All right. So, anything else you've been up to, J-Dub, besides what I just talked about?
Somebody stole my amazing Sasquatch lantern that you guys got me for my birthday from the campground, and I'm pissed. I'm gonna throw some hands.
Oh, dang it. We're not going to be there this weekend to watch you throw hands.
I'll make sure
The video?
Sean records it.
I
Okay.
think we all need to get like signs for the front of the lots that
I
say
should do missing
protected
posters.
by.
Protected by... You can't play Sasquatch.
I should do missing persons posters and have the little lantern on there and be like, be on the lookout.
Good.
Reward.
Actually-
you get a high five.
Yeah. Okay. You turn the light on.
Yep.
Actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea, just to just start posting them around the fucking the campground. Bring more attention to the fact that people are getting shit stolen.
Yeah.
So
I might have to do that.
yeah, that's not
Little
really not a
signs
bad idea.
everywhere.
Just drive around in my golf cart and hand them out to people. I could print those at work. A whole ream.
That's 500.
Sorry, Chuck, if you're listening.
It's 500. He'd be
I was
like,
kidding.
he'd be like, fuck that, get that shit out there and get your lantern back. That's what Chuck would say. Well, over the past few weeks, we've gotten several emails and some stuff that I want to catch up on. For starters, Mandy, I'm going to get to yours in a couple weeks because I actually want to spend some time telling your entire story. So, Mandy, our favorite Amazon driver,
Oh.
who, your ex-Amazon driver. She changed careers and she got her dream job at the veterinarian in the veterinarian field. So,
Nice.
but Mandy, in a couple weeks, I am going to sit down because she sent me a great story, and it's been so hectic that I missed it and I need to go back to it. I even sat down and asked the Rocker Chick, "Is like, did I tell you this story?" And she's like, "No." So we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk about this.
Cool.
In a couple weeks. So Mandy, I did get your email. I know it's been a minute, but I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm gonna tell it. We're gonna spend the time it needs to be spent on it. So we did get a couple of emails from one of our favorite all-time listeners. Do you know who that would be?
I think so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who would it be?
You tell me.
It's ISO Cam! So, like I said, since we've been out of the studio for a few weeks now, we're just now getting to these. So, as our episodes are coming out, ISO is sending me emails. This one was for Question of the Pod. I would choose the Dukes of Hazzard narrator to voice my life. Or definitely Ace Ventura. I think I could see Tenacious D as a whole voicing Golden Jay's voice. For Rocker Chick, I would probably go Little Nicky, Adam Sandler's character, and J-Dub. Honestly, I could see Scrappy Doo being a fit.
Scrappy Doo.
That's funny.
So that, I can't remember which episode that was from when we talked about narrating our life, but there you go. That one's from ISO. And I got another one today. From today's episode, which was the Third Man Syndrome. The cartoon character I would choose to replace in the show would probably be Bobbi from Supernatural when he was alive. Spoiler. Hold on. I ran out of focus. I could be in the background while Sam and Dean hunt some celestial stags. Yeah. Or I'd probably go the Scooby-Doo route like Rocker Chick and choose Fred. Wink, wink. So ISO, thank you for the Thanks for the emails, buddy. Thanks for listening. Those, he works the late shift, so he's watching or listening to these throughout the night. So usually when I get up in the morning, or pretty close to, I'm getting emails from him on day of release. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Also, next week we've got Brian and Marjorie from Back to Paranormal podcast.
Yeah.
Gonna be on the show. We're looking forward to that. I've been emailing with him, and it's been pretty exciting. So we're stoked to get that recorded, and it'll be next week's show.
Very cool.
Nice.
We also got a comment we got a couple comments.
Oh, no. That face you just made.
I'm trying to figure out where I can go get because I meant to pull them up before I started recording. So you have to give me just a second here as I log into this, that, and the other, and we go check out our comments. This one actually came from Podbean. So this is from Emily. This is actually on her Podbean. She's a follower of our show. And she says, first off, I love the podcast. I heard the story of Travis Walton, and he actually returned on November 10th, 1975. He had woken up on the side of the road claiming to have seen a spacecraft flying off when he woke. He had made it to the gas station in Heber, Arizona, and called his family. He was told he was missing for 5 days.
Oh, wow. We'll see.
Yeah. So, Emily, thank you for the comment. Thank you so much. This is what we do. This is why we do what we do, because we get to learn new things, too, that we didn't find in our research. So,
I like to be corrected, too, because then I know.
Exactly.
Thanks.
And we got a new one on Apple. I don't know. Well, give me just a second. J-Dub, did you find it?
I did.
Okay. Why don't you read it?
All right. This is from 7/10/2024. It says, don't skimp on the banter. 5 stars. Don't skimp.
Woo!
So it says, get to know your hosts and then some. I've been listening to this podcast from the beginning. It's very enjoyable. You get stories from the paranormal, cryptid, and even aliens. A lot of the reviews complain about banter and hearing them chat. Read the show notes to skip it if you don't want to learn about hosts and listen to them talk about their everyday lives. I know it's difficult for some to actually, in all caps, read a show's description and skip ahead if that's not what you're here for. Hearing them chat a bit is what sets it apart and makes you feel like you are part of the Two-Sop family. Cheers. 2 beer thingies clicking.
Nice. I love it.
We like that. Thank you.
Who was that? What was the username?
It doesn't have a username.
Okay.
Just says don't skimp on the banter.
Well, thank you for that review, and thank you for the 5 stars.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I might know who put it up, and it wasn't me, so.
You're not supposed to know.
Well, this person emailed me and said, hey, I just put a review up on Apple, and I really went for it. And I'm like, yes, you did. But to that person,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't want to give it away because it is a legitimate review. He does love the show. We have interacted with him, and he's pretty amazing. So
Cool. Thank you.
And I have one more email. I just have a shout-out email. Just Yahira. Just want to say hi. I emailed her, and just to see how she's doing. She said that she's doing great. They just got back from a camping trip.
Ooh.
And but yeah, I'm not going to get into the long email she sent.
And then we also heard from
We heard from Larissa.
Larissa.
Ah.
Yes, and we are going to meet up with her when we're in Kansas City in November. go out and visit with her since we're going to be there for a few days and we'll have some time. So
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to seeing her again. So she's actually trying to get caught back up. She was a little bit behind, but yeah, she texted me some crazy, stuff. She would be like, "So I just listened to this," and she would be laughing about. I listened to the May 15th episode with the voice clip, so she got to hear her episode. And then she texts me later, and she's like, I think I learn a new word every time I listen to Logan. Nards.
Oh, jeez.
Never heard testicles called nards, and it's always the way he says shit. So she was laughing her ass off when she was listening to Logan talk about nards. So
That's funny.
yeah, it's been a very productive 3 weeks as far as hanging with the fans and talking to the fans, and it's been a lot of fun for me. So yeah, keep it coming. United States Paranormal at gmail.com. So love to hear from you. All right, we are into 25 minutes of banter here.
Oh, wow.
We
That's a
probably
lot.
ought to get to the story. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
There was probably something else that I was going to cover, but
Probably a
oh,
question.
there was something else I was
Okay,
going to
I'm not
cover,
ready.
wasn't there? We are not ready. So let me ask you this. Fucking stupid. Which role would you play in a reality TV show?
The host.
No. I mean,
the
that would-
caregiver,
The caregiver.
the
What
mom, the
fucking
caregiver, yeah.
What caregiver in the reality show? Like what character
I'm like
you base
talking
off?
like a survivor. I would be like the mom figure or
Yeah.
the caregiver.
Oh.
Somebody. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. I just
Okay.
didn't understand that you're going to be the mom figure in a reality show. I just didn't understand that.
I would be the old woman. All of them would be young. That's how it works. So yeah.
You wearing those glasses?
Probably not, because I don't think they have paper and I have to read. So I think we'll
I don't
leave
want
the
to be.
glasses at home. Well,
I'd
I'd
wanna-
probably have to because I wouldn't be able to wear contacts, so I'd have to wear glasses.
You would. And you have to break out those big old Coke bottle glasses you got.
Although you think they probably have a bathroom off to the side that's all super nice. and-
probably.
yeah.
They do not. You got to survive if you're playing Survivor. Isn't that the point?
I'm sorry, but how many days are they out there?
42.
Something like that. I would have a mustache down to my knees, and my hair in my armpits would be,
Yeah.
it would just
They
be,
seem to
they
not
have
be
something
hairy.
going on. It's true. I'm sorry.
You know what?
All the women out there listening agree with me.
Yeah, they know.
They know.
I never thought about it. I don't really watch Survivor, but I never really thought about that.
Yeah, they are not hairy.
It's
so
true.
they've got something that they're doing.
Do you think it would be like a turn off for the viewers if the women got armpit hair and their legs hair looked like they were, ready for winter?
For the
Well,
women,
this
probably
day
not.
and
Maybe
age,
for the
no.
men.
No, that's true.
I don't know. It's up to what type of fetish people have, I guess. I don't
Buy your Parafeet shirt.
Yeah, it reminds me of a conversation I had with Lindsay today.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, I would want to be Gordon Ramsay if I had to replace somebody on a reality TV show. I want to be the guy that could actually cook and then fucking yell at people and get away with it.
Oh, is that what you said? Replace somebody on?
No,
a
I'm just
reality?
saying,
Oh.
what role? What role would you play? I mean, host,
gotcha.
It could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
but it can go anyway. What role would you play in a reality
You
TV
want to
show?
bitch about people cooking?
I would.
That's what
fucking-
he does to me. All the
It's
time.
I'm very good at
pretty
it.
good at it.
Yeah. Fucking hell! You fucked up a fucking.
That's Ozzy. Oh my. Okay.
Hey, I don't have to be exactly like Gordon Ramsay. He is a handsome devil, though. You got.
Are you ready for your story?
Let's get into today's story.
Rocker Chic, go!
All right. Just a few miles away from the prominent New York island of Manhattan lies a 13-acre piece of land located in the East River. The island bears the remains of its tragically fascinating history. North Brother Island was first inhabited when Riverside Hospital was relocated to the island due to the hospital's nature and the highly contagious diseases it treated. The hopes were to isolate sufferers of smallpox, tuberculosis, yellow fever, and typhus. It seems like a worthy and respectable pursuit until you learn that many of the patients of Riverside Hospital were held against their will. The most notorious patient of Riverside Hospital was Mary Mallon, better known as Typhoid Mary.
What were you going to say? Typhoid?
Yeah. Blah, blah. Mary was the first person in the United States to be documented as a carrier of the bacteria that causes typhoid fever. Mary is said to have inadvertently infected more than 50 people, 3 of which died. She always denied her status as a carrier, saying that she was forcefully kept in the island's hospital for nearly 3 decades until she died. A bit of her history. Mary Mallon was born in 1869 in Ireland and immigrated to the United States in 1884. She worked a variety of domestic positions and ended up settling her career as a home cook for a wealthy man named Charles Henry Warren. A strange and worrisome position for someone who was a healthy carrier of salmonella typhi, however you say it, or the bacteria that causes typhoid fever. 6 of the 11 people living in the home presented with typhoid fever after Mary had started working there. At this point in history, typhoid fever was still fatal in 10% of its cases. This is kind of weird. Mary's illness was discovered by the sanitary engineer that had been hired by the Warren family. George Sober initially believed that freshwater clams were the cause of the spread. He had held interrogations with those who presented with the symptoms, including Mary. She had contracted the disease and continued to host the bacteria, contaminated everything around her, and threatened her surrounding environment. Starting in March of 1907, Sober had solved the mystery and became the first to present the asthmatic carrier position. He began to stalk Mary in Manhattan, revealing that she transmitted the disease and death by her activity. His attempt to sample Mary's feces, urine, and blood earned him nothing.
Gross.
He was finally able to prove his suspicions when he discovered that she had worked for 8 other families, all of which had cases of typhoid fever present in their homes after Mary had begun working for them. You look like you have a question.
Oh, I'm just listening.
Okay.
Actually, my question is how would you go about trying to get her feces?
It's not like she's shitting outside in
He
the
was
front
stalking
yard.
her. Well, in the family that she was working for had hired him, so I'm sure he had availability
He's
of
like,
the house.
Everybody, give me a fecal sample.
Yep.
What year was this again?
1907.
1807? 1907. Was there indoor plumbing? There wasn't indoor plumbing then. Maybe he was going through the outhouse.
But then how would he know it was hers? Unless
I know,
it was just
exactly.
shit on top.
Unless he was sitting down there with a bucket.
Oh, God.
I mean,
bucket!
That brings back bad memories.
Or, like they had the chamber pots.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
Oh, that's true. Maybe it was his
right
job
in
there.
every room.
Yep.
Well, he was a sanitary guy, so
Yep.
maybe he was the cleanup crew. So
The janitor.
the janitor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just don't trust him. I feel like I don't trust him.
I don't trust him.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
After presenting his findings to Dr. Biggs of the New York Department of Health, the police retrieved Mary and brought her in for testing. She remained uncooperative and eluded them for 5 hours. Once they caught up to her, she was forced to give samples, and it was found that Mary's stool was positive for the Salmonella typhi. How do we say that? She was transferred to North Brother Island and Riverside Hospital immediately, where she was quarantined. In 1909, Mary successfully sued the health department, saying that no one explained the significance of being a carrier, and was unsuccessfully treated with laxatives.
Ew.
Get this, she was offered a gallbladder removal surgery, but she denied it. Mary was eventually released under the condition that she would not be in contact with food. She did not abide by this agreement and immediately started working in cuisines, threatening everyone's health around her once more. As a cook of the Sloan maternity in Manhattan, she infected at least 25 people.
Ew.
2 of which died. She ended up getting caught and yet again was sent to Riverside Hospital, where she remained until her death in November of 1938. After her death, it was realized that she shed the bacteria from her gallstones, which raised the issue of what would have happened if she had agreed to the gallbladder surgery. She was offered the first few days when she was at the hospital. Typhoid Mary isn't the only reason for the island's notoriety, however. 3 years before Mary's arrival on the island in 1904, a tragedy took place on the island, considered the biggest loss of life in New York City in the 19th century. On June 14th, 1904, a church group chartered the vessel General Slocum for a women's and children's picnic trip to Long Island. As it sailed along the East River, a fire broke out in one of the vessel's machine rooms. By the time the captain noticed the fire, it was too late for anyone to stop the blaze, and the disaster was imminent. The fire quickly spread to other parts of the ship, including a cabin filled with gasoline.
Ooh.
What's genuinely horrible is a 12-year-old boy had attempted to warn the captain of the blaze, but was ignored. The boat finally sank beneath the East River's surface, right on the banks of North Brother Island, and 1,021 people died.
Aw.
Staff and patients of Riverside Hospital acted as rescuers and pulled bodies from the water. The captain of the General Slocum was held accountable for failing to maintain proper fire drills and extinguishers. And this is pretty crazy because the crew, this was during the fire, the crew quickly scrambled to put out the blaze, but the safety equipment on the General Slocum was not up to use. Fire hoses had not been replaced in years.
Ooh.
The rotted tubing fell apart in the crew's hands. The lifeboats could have allowed passengers to depart safely, were attached to the hull, with wire and had been painted over, making them all inaccessible. Life jackets were old, the canvas filled with holes, allowing the cork to escape. What's more is that iron bars had been placed in the bottom of the jackets to ensure they kept people floating upright. In this case, all it did was cause people to sink faster.
Ooh, that'd be awful.
Who in their right mind puts iron bars in a fucking life jacket to try to get them to stay upright?
I don't know.
Well, you know, when you put one of those life jackets around your neck, you're like this in the water, back, like
right?
Floating. Maybe the thought was if they put it in there, then and the cork was all good. Maybe like when it was brand new, they would be like a bobber.
Okay, I'll give you that. But I mean, I would think that if you put anything metal into something that's supposed to float, it's probably going to make it sink.
No, I'm sure that it was, yeah.
Well, obviously they must not have tested it very well.
Well, and like you said, if the cork was still good, then maybe somebody actually did test it and said, "Oh, this is going to work." But since the shit's falling out, and then there's nothing to hold you up, just drag you down.
The tragedy of the Slocum was not long remembered, as the sinking of the Titanic happened only a few years later.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's a lot of people that perished in a fire that, if things were kept up, probably could have been
Taken
put
care
out.
of. Yeah.
They must not have had like inspections like they do. You know, like the fire
No.
chief comes out and checks things and code inspections and
Yeah.
Well, I would say that a disaster like that is probably what caused
them to have them now.
implement those safety procedures.
and why life jackets expire and stuff like that.
Right, right.
So today, the eerie ruins of 12 buildings in Riverside Hospital remain. Overgrown with plant life and riddled with birds, Riverside Hospital eventually became housing for World War II veterans and then a drug rehabilitation center
Say that 3 times
in the
fast.
50s and 60s, but was forced to close in 1964 after widespread reports of staff corruption and has sat abandoned for over half a century. The island itself is strongly believed to be haunted. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff that happened there. There was even a morgue on the island for those who didn't survive their quarantine. The island is also thought to be cursed due to its spotty history. First used as a landfill, then a hotspot for multiple quarantine hospitals. The patients who ended up here were sometimes never heard from again, as there was no telephone service on the island and visitors were prohibited. Conditions were horrible, with some patients living in tents outside if the hospital itself was too crowded. Food shortages and lack of heat in the winter contributed to the island's growing death toll. The island's man-made structures remain in a state of disarray, while the nature around them flourishes and consumes them. Urban explorers and photographers have found their way onto the island and state that it is truly a sublime experience. They tell of the feeling of walking through the brush onto the island, being surrounded by trees, birds, and of all kinds, and towered over by a canopy of large trees. You forget that you're right in the middle of New York City. They also tell of the hauntings that have occurred here. And that, just to tell you, this island is off limits. You're not allowed to go on. So these people have went in and got the okay to go on the island. They also tell of the hauntings that have occurred here. Visitors to the islands report screams from the middle of the island and coming from the ruins of Riverside Hospital. Of course, a lot of noise comes from the water, but the noises heard on North Brother are entirely too close to be coming from the prison, because Rikers is not too far away.
Okay.
Whispers, unexplained movement, glowing orbs, and apparitions of people in hospital gowns have also been reported. The past here has opened the door for plenty of paranormal activity, and some visitors have even seen apparitions of remnants of a boat floating in the water. If you look out to North Brother Island from Manhattan at nighttime, you may even catch a glimpse of spirits out on the shores. It sounds like a sad place. But now they've made it like they closed it off and they call it like a bird sanctuary. But all the buildings are still there. Some of the pictures that the photographers had went in and taken, sheets are still on the beds in the hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like they just all got up and left.
Nobody cared anymore, I guess.
Yeah. So
Was there? Did you do any follow up to see if there was any pictures or anything that they brought back from the few people who have gotten on there?
just the feedback was, what they heard, and
I'm just curious because when we talked about this over the last couple nights, we were actually looking. You had thought that your favorite all time Zach Baggins had actually been on the island.
It must have just been in my dreams, but I remember them going on an island.
It was at Provalia Island, I think, where he wore the big doctor mask with the big, where they stuffed herbs and stuff in it. Okay. I think that was that one.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything. I did a full Google sweep of it, and I come up with nothing about him being on North Brothers Island. But you just said that when we were talking that it's it's off limits. It's a bird sanctuary now, and they're afraid that if anybody actually goes on it, they'll end up contaminating the birds and stuff like that. And they don't want to do that. Although, if it's that close to actual New York City, I would think that the birds would
contaminate themselves.
Yeah. So
it's the thing on here. To reach North Brother Island, you have to go by boat. To charter a boat to the island, you'll need the city's permission. The journey has a lot of police on the way as they keep an eye on Rikers Island nearby.
Gotcha.
Thoughts of sneaking onto the island should be put to rest, as the island is dangerous without a guide, and you will be charged with trespassing
or get shot.
So you actually could go on the island if you get the city's permission,
right? And I suspect that they probably,
Well, I bet if Zach Higgins went over there and asked permission, they'd give it to him.
Probably so. Yeah, that's that whole thing with her, with Typhoid Mary. I was listening to tell the story, and I get conflicted, I guess, because you think that she's being zeroed in on, maybe unrightfully, what's the word I'm looking for?
She's being accused of.
Yeah.
And how does she know that she's that? I mean, okay, I'm walking around with a disease. I don't know I'm spreading it.
Right.
So, yeah, I would feel the way she did. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Then you flip the side, and then you're like, well, why is she being so fucking stubborn if they...
She probably doesn't believe that she has it.
But if they did a stool sample on her the first time and found that she had it, and told her, don't go into cuisine because you can go live your life, just don't go serve food. But the first thing she does is she goes and serves food.
So if it's in her poop, what is she doing? Scratching her butthole and then not washing her hands and feeding people?
Well, you think it's back in the day where they didn't have a lot of
hygiene.
Yeah, so it could be underneath her fingernails, anywhere. Yeah,
you didn't have a sign in the bathroom that said employees
wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
You had a bucket to put your hands in. Yeah, everybody shared. Who knows? I don't know.
It's a poop bucket.
Shit bucket.
But no, I mean, at some point, I mean, if you have it, and they tell you can go back into society, but don't go back into cuisine, and the first thing she does is go back into cuisine, then why is she being so stubborn? I mean, the gallbladder thing, I could understand. You don't want to have surgery. And back then, that was a major surgery. Not like today where they just poke you with 3 little deals and suck it right out. But, well, I mean, in all honesty, they don't have to open you up and get in there and dig it out. Now they do it with a little vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if she would have had that done, then she could have went back in and been a cook. I mean, that was probably her dream to cook.
Well, I get it, but I mean, then have the surgery. I mean, I'm just saying. But there's always the fun.
I'm sure. Yeah, either she was very, she wanted to infect people, or she was just wanting to live her life the way
she needed her money.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a good cook.
I understand all that, and I appreciate all that. I really, truly do. But at some point, you've got to take some sort of responsibility.
Well, she'll always be remembered. So, I mean, we all know that Typhoid Mary.
True. I mean, she did mark.
She is, got a mark in history.
Yeah.
You had heard of her before, right?
You never heard of Typhoid Mary?
I don't think so.
She's too young. We learned about her in school.
J-Dub,
I might have learned it in school, too. I just don't remember.
J-Dub's too young.
Too distracted.
With boys?
No.
No, okay.
No, not then.
I didn't learn about Typhoid Mary because I was too distracted by girls.
No.
I was talking about me.
I know.
Well, very cool. Very cool. I mean,
there wasn't a lot of haunting or people's experiences, but I don't know. I think if it gets opened up, and paranormal people get to go in there and do investigations, I would feel that they would get a lot. I really do. I think there's probably a lot going on that island.
I'm actually surprised that nobody doesn't have a high-powered camera pointed at it to see what they could pick up on the shores or in the old hospital.
They're probably not allowed because Riker Island is so close.
How close is Riker Island? Jesus.
I mean, it says it's right nearby. I mean, you could hear noises from there. So it's all in an area. I mean, I don't know. We'd have to pull up a map and look at all the different islands all together. But
I might do that just to look.
It's only a 14-acre plot of land.
Which is just, 2 more of ours, basically.
Correct. So it's very small. So a lot happened in that little area.
How many rooms was the hospital, did it say?
I didn't have specifics on how many rooms the hospital was.
I wouldn't think it'd be very large if they had people out in tents.
Well, true, and think about that. I mean, I'm just contemplating what 14 acres is. I mean, we're sitting right now on almost 5 acres. So, I mean, you tripled what we've got here. That's not very big. How big of a fucking hospital would you build on 14 acres? It could go up, I suppose, you know.
Well, think of, Alcatraz. That's not on a very big
Well, yeah, that's true. But,
land.
I mean, the building
and there's a lot of people on Alcatraz.
The building itself is on the island. I mean, you know, it goes from edge to edge. It's like a Pizza King pizza. It's right to the edge.
Well, yeah. So
right to the edge.
I'm sure they didn't have like a beach or, this was...
No, you don't think they had a beach for the, the cabanas? They didn't have cabanas and beach boys.
The tents were on the rocks, They didn't care.
True. Interesting. All right. Good job.
I liked it. I like history. So learning about stuff like that, I like that too.
Cool.
Especially since you didn't know about her. That's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. Very cool. All right. For all you New York listeners, send us an email, UnitedStatesParanormal@gmail.com.
What have you heard has happened on the island?
Absolutely. And for all else of your questions and comments, go ahead and email us. Love to hear from the fans. Love to hear from you guys. I'd love to interact with you guys. You guys are so much fun. Enjoy all of you. All right. Well, what do you say we get out of here?
All righty.
All right.
All I have to say is keep it spooky, and I'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the United States of Paranormal podcast. Check us out at theunitedstatesofparanormal.com, where you can find our Spotlight of the Month, Fan of the Month, and all of our amazing merchandise. Or you can find us on social media at Facebook at the United States of Paranormal, Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, and YouTube at the United States of Paranormal 1795. And don't forget, we are now on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/2sop.
Please check out the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. The Call Guys, Golden Image Podcast, Indiana Chiefs Fans, Golden 80s, The Gridiron Kings, Murd Nerds, and A Quart of Books and Booze, all of which can be found at goldenmojoent.com or wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
And if you have a location or a story that you would like for us to check into, please email us at the United States of Paranormal @gmail.com. Please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you listen. Thank you for all of your support. Bye.